What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of R&R. As always, I'm Logan.
And I'm Ethan. And today we're going to be going over a little bit of fixed blade philosophy. Him and I have both got new battle belts in the last 6 months or so.
Yep.
So we've been kind of going on a little bit of a journey. If you guys have seen through our shorts doing the brief break segments, we're kind of looking for a good battle belt knife. We've kind of both already decided on our plate carrier knives, but today we're just going to try to kind of go over a brief overview of what each classification of knife is that we have. This isn't anything technical. This is just how I kind of think of them in my head. So starting from your guys' left, my right, we've got kind of the full-size camp knives. And these knives are really going to shine as far as processing wood and doing camp tasks, building shelters, doing that sort of thing. They're a very good knife. And if you can carry one, if you can find a place for one, this will be able to do the most. The only place, there are downfalls of each knife. Usually these larger camp knives like this are 1095 or D2, so you're going to have a little bit more of a chance of rust. But it's also, I mean, as long as they're heat treated well, those are very good steels. So like this one here, we've got the Ontario Rat 7. I don't even know if they're around anymore, but another knife that would be comparable to this would be the SE Hungalis 2. There's some different variants like that. Then moving over, we've got the Top Silent Hero. It's a very good, camp-sized knife. It's almost on the short side for being a camp knife, but it will still classified as that. And then moving over here to the center, we've got kind of your tactical field knives. It's a knife that can kind of do everything. It can be pokey, if you got to stab into somebody. It can skin well. That's something that these large knives would kind of struggle at. It can do some wood processing, nothing too crazy.
Be more like a feather stick, something like that. Would
Yeah,
probably
doing
be
more of like a bushcrafting task if need be. But the thing that these knives really shine in is when you have a knife on your kit, generally speaking, just from personal experience, there's three things that knife really needs to be able to do. Cut through zip ties, cut through 550 cord, and open MREs or open food. So hey Logan.
Yeah.
Are you still shooting at paper targets like a peasant?
Yeah. What else would I shoot? Pop cans?
Haven't you ever wanted to shoot at competition grade steel?
Yeah, but though it's like super expensive.
Well, here at R&R, we only recommend the best, challenge targets.
Whoa. How'd you do that?
I went over to challengetargets.com and used the code RR10 at checkout to get 10% off my entire purchase.
The entire purchase?
Yep, the entire purchase.
But what if I want to train with my rifle?
Well, lucky for you, Challenge Targets has a whole line of rifle-rated targets. Like this IPSEC rifle-rated A-Zone flapper target with the armored stand. Hey, where are you going?
I'm going to go order targets at challengetargets.com using code RR10 to save 10% off my entire purchase.
Man, that's the smartest thing you've said all day.
That's challengetargets.com. Use code RR10 to save 10% off your entire purchase.
Really shine in that aspect, good for whittling. The little bit of a shorter blade makes it easier to sharpen depending on the steel. But so here we've got the new SOG pillar, the SE4 and S35VN, and the SRK and SK5 steel, which is some Taiwanese steel. It's fairly decent. And then if you move on over to here, this is more of your like straight up tactical knife. Yeah. Just made for putting holes in people for the most part. I mean,
make distance knife.
Yeah. So these are all kind of examples of like a plate carrier knife. You can wear them on your battle belt if you don't really plan on ever using a knife for anything. Because if you have a knife that's just made for poking and stabbing, you want to keep it as sharp as possible. You don't want to be using it to open MREs and cut through 550 cord and stuff. And then if the time comes you got to use it, things dull, Yeah. So these are all kind of, like I said, examples of plate carrier knives. And two of them are super high end, or pretty high end. Then the other one is kind of just a budget, but we've got the Tor Darter, the Tor Serpent, and then this is the American Buffalo Knife and Tool, something cheap. It's not very expensive. It's in D2 steel. It's not terrible. But so in saying all that, with your plate carrier knife, one of the philosophies are you need to be able to poke holes in things, but also you want it to be thick enough. You want it to have pretty thick bar stock and made out of decent steel. So if you do have to use that knife, because it's going to be the most accessible knife for you probably, say you're in a vehicle, you're in a building, you got to try to bust through a door or something, you want it to be able to pry on it a little bit and use it for some abuse and not have to worry about it breaking. So I think this one's in S30V steel. That's in CPM M4.
Yep.
And that's in D2. So just a little bit of a breakdown. We're still, like I said, this is just the beginning video, just kind of giving you guys an idea of what knife does what, you know, where they shine. And somebody like me, I'm gonna have a different experience with fixed blade knives than somebody like him. I've got an Army background. He's got a hunting background.
Yeah.
So he's gonna look at knives through a different lens than I am, as far as if they're gonna be able to skin well, if he's gonna be able to chop through a pelvic bone on a deer, or whatever it may be. So if you want to take over a little bit and kind of hit on that stuff.
I mean, yeah, just kind of going with that. I mean, there is a difference between, you know, obviously you want, for like a skinning, a little bit thinner blade would be nice, you know, but even some of these where you can kind of grip up on the tang a little higher, you know, you can really get your hand up there a little fine, you know, yeah, like have some fine work, you know, really control that point, because I mean, let's be honest, when you're kind of skinning or gutting a deer, or, you know, any animal really, you don't really see what you're doing inside. I mean, for the most part. I mean, when you got to get up there, you know, and cut the throat, and, you know, get all the membrane out and scoop everything and then pull everything out. I mean, you're not really seeing what's going on up there. And, you know, plenty of times I have stabbed myself, sliced myself. I mean, because it is what it is. It happens. But when you have a knife, you know, something like that, where you can really control the blade, really control the point, you know where it's going to go, you know, it makes it a little bit safer in the application that you're using it for.
And also, the other thing too is if you're using a knife like that for, you know, skinning animals, blood definitely causes a lot of rust. So having something S35 or, you know, one of these Wonder Super, you know, stainless steels, that would be a plus. But
yeah, no, I mean, that is a good point. But I mean, really, when it comes down to it, kind of what he said to begin with, this is our trials, our experience, like, this is not an end all be all say all, like
this is just our philosophy on what we're what we're looking at for these knives.
Yeah.
Like this one, wood processing, that's where it's going to shine. This is kind of a jack of all trades. These are pretty much just straight defensive pokey knives.
Yeah.
So for the rest of the series on just the battle belt knives, we're probably going to be focusing on these and trying to decide, and not just these knives, but these categories of knives, you know, something between a 4-inch and a 5-inch blade, you know, something that can kind of do everything, different price points. That's another thing, is all these knives are kind of different price points.
Yep.
So, you know, this Ontario, which like I said, I don't know if they make them anymore. I think they're back open again, Ontario is, but you can get this knife usually for around $80. Probably look on the used market. This knife's about $175 to $200. The Saug Pillar goes for about $175, $180. The Essies, the SE4, especially if you go with the the 1095 variant, you can get them for usually about right around $100. This one's around 130 to 150 with the S35 VN steel. You have the Colt Steel SRK. Those can be had for under $50 all day if you kind of shop around a little bit. And then the Tor Darter and the Serpent by Tor, those are both $300-$400 knives.
Yeah.
I mean, depends on what kind of deals you can find. And that American Buffalo knife and tool, that's probably a $20-$30 knife.
Yep. And just kind of piggybacking with that, either you're going to have a company that you guys really like, and you live and die by them, and that's perfectly fine. That's your opinion. You know, if you like that company, stick with them. But at the same time, we live by the motto, especially me now, years advanced, the buy one, cry once kind of thing. Like,
yeah,
you know,
you get what you pay for.
Like if you, having these knives for, you know, $300-$400, yeah, that's awful. But at the same time, we are most likely never going to have to buy another plate carrier knife again.
No.
Like, for the most part.
Nope.
You know what I mean?
Not unless you lose it or it gets stolen.
Yeah. So
we're kind of in the search right now, though, piggybacking off what he just said. We're in the search right now to find the best knife for the job we're looking for it to do at the lowest cost possible.
Yeah. So,
like, and you know, if it might be, you know, $200, it might be $40. We're just, you know, we'll see.
Yep.
Everybody's gonna have their own decision, because each of these knives are also gonna have different, strengths and weaknesses. Like this Tops, you know, this is a big knife. It's pretty good for chopping. It's lightweight though still, but it's good for chopping, good for batoning. But also, unlike a lot of these big knives, it's got this finger choil right here, so you can really choke up on it, use the spine here, kind of do small fine work. You can come up and you can pinch different areas for skinning and things like that. But so, I mean, different knives are going to have different things, and then you get into something like this SRK. It's a good knife, but you can't really choke up on it. It doesn't have a finger choil. It's kind of got this rubberized grip that I guess does good in water, from what I understand. But it's not the most ergonomic.
It's your most cliche, like,
tactical knife.
Yeah, like there's not much to it. It is what it is. You know what you're getting. It is full tang, you know. So
and that's another thing. All these knives are full tang. We're not gonna, even if we're going over cheaper stuff, we're not gonna kind of bring out anything that's garbage. That American Buffalo knife and tool might be the cheapest knife we got out here. It's not one I'd probably recommend, but we have it more than anything just to kind of show a budget option, because the two options we have are definitely top tier. But yeah, guys, so that's just kind of the intro into this fixed blade series. We're going to be doing a lot more of these videos in the coming weeks, and especially as winter comes up, this is going to be a continuous series. But if there's any knives that you guys recommend, or you're like, oh man, they don't have this knife and they should, let us know down below. Give us a comment. You know, if we have some crappy decisions on knives, let us know as well. But yeah,
and just kind of, you know, covering a base here, we are not by no means straying away from guns, or it's just, it's something different for the channel. You know, everyone has their own niche or whatever you want to say, like, you know, and realistically, like, we're a tactical mindset channel, tactical mindset people. I mean, this kind of, it goes hand in hand with it, you know. So we don't want you guys to think that, oh, you know, they're becoming a survival channel or a bushcraft channel. No,
pretty much we're just bringing you guys along on the journey of, he got a new plate carrier or new battle belt, I got a new battle belt. Let's kind of, you know, let's find what knife works. So
like he said, you know, bring you guys along. So if you guys might be in the same situation, you're like, oh, okay, yeah, let's see what they're doing. And like I said,
and by no means are either one of us experts, but I was an infantryman in the United States Army. You know, I've done a lot of stuff in the woods over my life.
I'm just a hillbilly that shoots stuff.
Well, he's a hunter, so he, you know, he's done a lot of outdoor stuff, and so we've kind of got some different, you know, ideas on stuff, and
different mindsets and different, you know, mentalities,
and different things we can bring to the table as far as what we can talk about, what we can show.
But yeah, so we just kind of want to get that out there, guys, you know, and just like I said, by no means are we switching our core channel. Just
we're not switching our channel at all. You guys see this target back here?
Yeah, how'd you get that?
Well, that's a target that I got from challengetargets.com, and I used the code RR10 at checkout. You can get 10% off of your entire order.
The entire
purchase. You know, we're talking about steel here, but you know, there's also steel you can shoot at. So
goes hand in hand.
You know, go over there and order some targets, help us out, let them know that we sent you by using the code RR10 at checkout. But
yeah, I mean, we also hope you guys, you know, kind of enjoyed the little bit of B-roll footage and the batoning and making some feather sticks, or just kind of showing these knives in action, you know, for the most part. But you know, with that being said, we appreciate everything you guys, you know, channel is still growing. We're still getting the likes, the comments, the subscriptions. You know, make sure to try to turn that notification on if you can. You know, it really helps us out. But as always,
we'll see you guys next time with your daily dose of R&R.
We'll see you guys.